I am Dane, and I am a National Ambassador for Character Counts. More than that, I'm also a gymnastics coach. That's one of the small businesses that I own. I'm not going to ask anyone to do cartwheels this morning, but I am going to ask you to exercise one of your most important organs of the body, and that is your mouth. So every time you hear me say character counts or character does count, I want you to respond with character counts. Everybody hear that? Understood?
Yep.
Okay, so let's test that. Character does count.
Character counts.
Excellent. All right. I want to begin today by sharing a story that reveals great insight into the excellence of mankind, the character of our nation, and the foundation of our heritage. It's a story about a parachute packer. In his book, Insights into Excellence, a man by the name of Charlie Plumb, an air pilot, tells his story. Recently, I was sitting in a restaurant in Kansas City. A man about 2 tables away kept looking at me. Now I couldn't recognize him. A few minutes into our meal, he stood up and walked over to my table. He looked down at me. He pointed his finger in my face and he said, "You're Captain Plumb." I looked up and I said, "Yes, sir, I am Captain Plumb." He said, "You flew jet fighters in Vietnam. You were on the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk. You were shot down. You parachuted into enemy hands and spent 6 years as a prisoner of war." I said, "How in the world would you know that?" He replied, "Because I packed your parachute." I was speechless. I staggered to my feet and held out a very grateful hand of thanks. This guy came up with just the proper words. He grabbed my hand, he pumped my arm, and he said, "I guess it worked." Yes, sir, indeed it did. End of story. You see, it takes great moral character and courage to think of ourselves,
Character counts.
think of others before ourselves. From our founding fathers to our current leaders, there has always been a great moral compass that leads us and defines the character of the American people, and as a result, the character of a nation. Today I wonder, and many people I touch every day wonder, have we lost our moral compass? Do we have the character and moral courage to survive as a nation? Here's the content of the character of many of our leaders
Character
today.
counts.
Whether in politics or not, have they simply lost the desire to be great leaders of character
Character counts.
before they are leaders of material wealth or stature or status? Have they sold our birthright for a bowl of soup, so to speak? You see, character does count.
Character counts.
You're doing good. I can have you in my gym. You do well. As we look around us today and listen to almost any media or watch television, we're all shocked by the types of things going on, aren't we? Wall Street greed. Business leaders who once were at the pinnacle of success, now going to jail. Our crime is escalating. Our schools graduating students who can't read or write. Our workers not having a desire to show up to work on time. Our politicians seem to be more interested in what they can get for themselves than what they can give to others. We don't secure our borders. We tolerate people even when they have lied to us time and time again. It is time. It is
There's the
time.
alarm.
We must stand up with great character and courage and say enough is enough.
Character counts.
Character does count.
Character counts.
Even our 30th President of the United States, President Calvin Coolidge, he said character is the only secure foundation of the state. Today there is a disconnect between character and politics. We need to resurrect the desire and the goal to once again be a nation of character.
Character counts.
A people focused on following a moral compass.
Are you helping?
Americans united on a common foundation of trust. Built on character,
Character counts.
first and foremost. You see, character does count.
Character counts. Look.
Abraham Lincoln said character is like a tree, and reputation is like its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it, but the tree is the real thing. Politicians buy reputation. Statesmen have character.
Character counts.
For our republic to work well, we the people have to be individually self-governing. And that can only happen when we make character
Count.
first in our lives. This election is about the people and not the parties. We see the politicians, but where are the statesmen? You see, it's character that counts.
Character counts.
I truly believe that Thomas McNally said, the measure of a man's real character is what he would do if he knew he would never be found out. President Reagan's speechwriter Peggy Noonan said this, in a president, character
Character
is
counts.
everything. This applies not only to the president, but for anyone who serves in office. And of course, President Reagan was a man of character.
Character counts.
Sometimes he spoke at jelly beans, and on one occasion he said, you can tell a lot about a fella's character
Character
by whether
counts.
he picks out all of one color or just grabs a handful. You see, character does count.
Character counts.
So I challenge you today to be a parachute packer and start packing other people's parachutes, especially those of our children in the future, by working and voting to get men and women of character into office during this midterm election. Simply by being here today, you are demonstrating that you are not going to sit idly by, that you too can be a leader of influence. Remember, you don't need a title or position to be a great leader or to be a great influence. It doesn't matter if you're the president of a company or a stay-at-home mom. You have influence with your character.
Character counts.
You can influence others right where you are, right where you live. I assure you it will make a difference in the outcome of this election and ultimately in leaving a legacy for our children of this great nation. From now on, let's make it our duty to fight the good fight, be courageously strong and morally convicted to take our country back. After all, we are Americans, aren't we?
Yes.
We speak one language, English. And we're resolved to be united, are we not? We will prevail. You see, character does count.
Character counts.
Thank you. May God give us the strength and character to continue protecting and prospering this great nation He has given us. God bless you.